I've been teaching for about 25 years, pre-K, kindergarten, and first, and I've used many different reading programs. Magic Penny is by far the best reading program I've ever used, the most effective for many different reasons. Firstly, it is well organized, sequential. You move from teaching children sounds and teaching them how to blend the sounds to make words, and a whole lot of time is given to that skill, is spent on that skill. That's very different than other reading programs. Because they're able to blend words, they're able to read that much sooner and more confidently. Magic Penny introduces 12 sounds at first, and then takes those sounds and has the kids learn to blend them into words and uses those words over and over again until at the end of a short period of time they're reading a book. This is very different than other programs. Many programs do one letter a week and then never see that letter again, so the kids don't remember it, and then do another letter and another letter. Magic Penny does all of the skills: beginning sounds, putting sounds together, taking sounds apart in words, comprehension, reading, matching, all of those things, so that little kids in pre-K are reading before Christmas. Reading, not pretend reading, not picture reading, but reading words sound by sound before Christmas. And by the end of the year, by the end of pre-K, whereas in other programs they would read maybe 20 words, well, pre-K they would probably not read any words, but in kindergarten 20 words. In Magic Penny, in pre-K, at the end, most of my class was reading over 200 words. Not only can they sound out words so that they can read the books in Magic Penny, they can read any book you hand to them if they have those more simple words. And they then realize that they have this amazing ability. This helps the kids who have behavior problems, who would normally act out in school, be frustrated, and fail. These kids no longer are in that spot. They feel confident. They have a skill that will take them through every grade and be successful in every grade. Another thing about Magic Penny that makes it different than other reading programs and makes it better is that I have never seen kids move as quickly and as far in a reading program as in Magic Penny. For example, 3 of my pre-K students from last year went to kindergarten, and when they got to kindergarten, tested so high that they put them in second grade reading groups. The most last year, 2/3 of my class was reading on a first grade level. So in other reading programs where you have these high kids and you know they can do so much more, but you have nothing to work with to get them to do so much more, in this program they go as high and as far as they can, because there is something next, the green team, the blue team, the purple team, and they move at their own speed. Another great thing about Magic Penny is it's really easy to follow. At first it seems like very different than other reading programs, but after a while, after you do it one time with the first 12 sounds, you just repeat the same thing again with the next 12 sounds and the next. In Magic Penny, we do daily progress monitoring, so we're watching how the kids are mastering the different skills. And when we see that they're struggling in a group, we move them down. If we see that they're excelling in a group, we move them up. So in my experience, I've never known as much about my children in my class as I do with Magic Penny. I know just what is lacking, I know just where to go, I know just what they need. And because it's so easy to differentiate, the kids do much better. Another thing that's really interesting about Magic Penny is it doesn't matter what socioeconomic group a child comes from. That child is able to read and is able to excel. It doesn't matter how much they've been read to, how much they've been talked to, how much they've been prepared for school. Certainly those kids who have been read to more will go further, but all kids are able to read with this program. And kids who would typically be in the middle are actually high, and kids who would typically be low are in the middle. And very few kids really struggle. And often we find out that these kids have some issue and maybe special ed, and that's why they have more of a hard time. Magic Penny is a lot of fun. The kids love it. The games that the children use to learn the skills are engaging. The kids are involved. The characters that are used in the stories repeat themselves. The kids know the characters. They love to read the stories. It is not a tedious process. It is not anything that one would say this is not developmentally appropriate. They take to it and they love it. It's fun, fun, fun. One of the strengths of the Magic Penny program is vocabulary development. The kids are looking at pictures all the time and learning new words. This helps the English language learners so that even if they may not speak our language, they wind up being able to read our words. I guess what I mostly want to say is that I feel like the luckiest person in the world to have been given the gift of Magic Penny. I've always wanted to teach pre-K kids to read, and I've always tried to do my best, but all the programs always fell short. This program is the most amazing program I've ever seen, and the results are incredible. As a teacher, it's satisfying to come to work and feel like I took a child in pre-K who never had read a word and knew no sounds, and at the end of 1 year was able to read almost anything you put in their hands. And that they were given this ability gives them confidence and makes them walk into kindergarten being a star in the class, instead of walking into kindergarten feeling like they are not able to do something and frustrated and struggling. So all I can say is you are lucky that you're going to be able to start this program and use this program. And I can only tell you, you will be amazed at what these children can do.
I've been a teacher assistant in the school system for over 30 years. I have seen many reading programs. I was a child that had a problem with speech and reading myself. And so I know how important it is for a child to get the basics and not go on until they do. The Magic Penny reading program allows you the time to get a child to get all the sounds and all the letters down pat before they start reading. And they do it with games. Kids do not even know that they're learning something that for their age a lot of people consider difficult. But in our pre-K classroom, to them it's just another game. And they do it and they play it and they succeed. And then all of a sudden they hit a point where you can tell that they're just gonna fly. And they do. I take the little kids because I want them. I don't want to push them too fast. I want them to succeed. And my teacher lets me do that. I take 2 groups. She takes 2 groups. I take the lower groups. They take sometimes a little more time to get to that point where they're going to fly. And I take the time to do that because I know how important it is from when I was a child to get them so that they understand everything before they move on. And to me, that's the wonderful thing about Magic Penny. Other programs in the past, you learned 1 letter a week, and you spent all week long on that letter, and for 26 weeks, you learned 1 different letter every single solitary week that you worked. In the Magic Penny program, we learned 12 letters in the first 2 weeks, and the kids knew those letters and the sounds, and each letter had a character, and they learned all that in 2 weeks because it was fun, and the kids learned to do it because it was more like a game. It was not work that you would not expect out of a pre-K kid. If I ever had a child that cried and didn't want to do it, then I would find a problem with the program. But our kids love the program. They love to come in. They love reading. They love everything they do about it. They love the games, each game, and it is set up so that when you succeed with the first book, each book after that is done the exact same way. They just slowly move up the scale to more difficult levels, and the kids just follow right along, and it works out very well. And I think it's the best reading program that I've ever seen in all the years that I've worked for the board.
My name is Kelly Everditsky, and I'm a Buffalo Public School teacher. I've been teaching within the district for almost 20 years. I've been with our building the entire time, which is a gift. So I've seen many changes throughout over the years. The biggest change being, we have a humongous influx of ESL children this year. We're a pre-K to 2 site, where now we probably will go with a second full-time ESL teacher. The population has grown so much. So, am I a proponent of Magic Penny? 110%. 110%. It's so important for not just the ELLs, but to start as an early intervention program in pre-K. As a kindergarten teacher, I can speak for myself, knowing kids who have been exposed to Magic Penny in pre-K and kids who have not. The difference is huge. Kids who come up using Magic Penny in pre-K, their ear is fine-tuned for me now to turn the key and just get the ball rolling. And the biggest gift for these kids coming up to me with Magic Penny is the fact that they are able to be met where they're at, exactly where they're at. There's no delays. There's no, like, it's one big group, you all get the same book. There's none of that. It's all differentiated to meet the individual needs of every single child, from an ELL kid to a child who comes in reading chapter books, to children who have never been to school before, to kids who are just regular old kindergartners coming in. So that's, for me, that's the most dynamic part, and that's why I've been able to bring my kids so far as a kindergarten teacher. And so again, I'm going to go back 110% proponent of the program. The children's feeling towards Magic Penny is very powerful, and it's fun. It's fun for the teacher, who is the instructor. It's fun for the kids because it's user-friendly, again, to meet the child where they're at and to feel successful. There's no frustration levels because, again, the beauty of this program is adjusted to meet the individual learner. So they come, when I say it's Magic Penny time, there's no hesitation. They get their little boards or pencils and their little books, and we're on our way. And because they enjoy it so much and because they're successful with the level that they're at, the mini lessons are quick, they're concise, and they're effective. Do parents love it? Yes. Because the books are user-friendly. There's no manual. It's just, that's another thing that's powerful about it. My parents can just follow each step with the directions and the support materials, and there's limited questions, you know. So I really take it time in the beginning of the year to explain to my parents, be on the lookout for this, you know. That's why I have Ziplocs on my supply list, so I send things home really easily to package. And it's fun for them, too. So I've had nothing but support of the program.
My name is Kelly Noah. I'm a teacher here at School 59 at A Street. I teach pre-K, and I'm absolutely in awe of the Magic Penny program. I truly feel honored to be a part of it because it's so exciting for my students. These little ones who are only 3 and 4 years old pick up letter sounds and beginning sounds and middle sounds and end sounds and start reading words in a matter of no time. My students are like little sponges. They get so excited about the program because it's feasible for them. They're able to obtain the goal of being able to read. The fun dances that are incorporated into our Magic Penny CDs and our computer system is phenomenal. The kids get into it, they get excited, and little do they know they're actually reading at the end of that process. And it's such an exciting time for them, and it's an exciting time for me as a teacher. During summer school, I worked with students from a different school, and I was really excited to just start where I had left off with my own students. But much to my dismay, The students I was working with at summer school unfortunately didn't know their letter sounds. They unfortunately didn't know how to read as my students did. And this was eye-opening to me. When I introduced the Magic Penny program to my summer school students, within 4 weeks of them having the program, they were able to do what my students from the previous year were capable of. They were now knowing their letter sounds. They were now knowing how to spell words, and they were now knowing how to read. And that was really exciting for me to see. Because of Magic Penny, my students' lives have been incredibly enriched, and they're excited for a happy future, and I'm excited for them.